Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with a new Daredevil story, man. And telling you, it is a doozy. This is a dark story. This is part 1 of 3. I'm talking about Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. What are we waiting on? Roll that intro, cuz. Yeah. What's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Mac, the Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Orange Phoenix Media Channel and another episode of Comic Book Declassified, where we talk about the most recent issues in comics, as well as past issues, as well as character bios, if you ask for it. Today, we are talking about Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell by Charles Soule and Steve McNiven. I'm going to tell you, this is a doozy. Just like I said in the intro, man, this is something. This is something. And you're going to be shocked and amazed at this story. This is so awesome, and it's dark, and it's twisted, and we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on with Matt Murdock. I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler alert. If you haven't read Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, go ahead and skip across this video, man. I'm going to just give you spoiler alert because we're going to get into this real nice. Okay, I want to say every nook and cranny of this comic because we still want you to go out there and get your physical copy of Cold Day in Hell. This is a very much enjoyable story, and it keeps you intrigued and it keeps you invested. So let's get into it. So the story starts out with a old Matt Murdock. Now, Matt visited this grave and starts to have this conversation with this person. And he speaks on Jessica Jones and that conversation on the phone, and Jessica Jones thinking that Matt was dead, you know, because of the war. And Matt said, listen, I lost my powers before the war even started. So I didn't even have a dog in the fight at this point. And he said, well, you know what? That never really stopped you, though, because you were a human being, but it never stopped you from swinging for the fences. And the person he was talking to was Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. The Kingpin no longer exists in this universe. So what you got to understand with this storyline is this is like away from the regular Marvel continuity. This is away from the X-Men after the Krakoa age. This is, you know, past Blood Hunt. Like this, it has nothing to do with the normal continuity of Marvel. This is a totally separate story. And I do like the fact that this story is being told of old man Daredevil. But the first shock part is that the Kingpin does not exist in this universe. He's no longer amongst the living. And it seems as though that Matt and Wilson met in the middle somewhere down the line. Like they became friends. It almost feels that way, that they had some type of kinship before his passing. Because in this moment that Matt Murdock, he is a priest. He's not a lawyer. He's an actual priest in this universe. So to give you more context as far as Matt and his current state, he no longer has his abilities. And you get to see this because he got mugged on the way of doing his normal community service. Like they took his money. A regular mugger took his money and his cane. Now, he tried to use his agility just a little bit, but he landed on his ass. And to the point where he begs the mugger, say, listen, you can take my money, but please let me have my cane. I am a normal blind guy. I need my cane. And typically, normal Matt Murdock would have caught that cane, but he completely misses it, and it hits him in the head. And he even has a laugh about it. He said, you're an idiot for trying to think you could catch the cane without your abilities. So the one thing about Matt is that he has a certain level of positivity about him. Like no matter what happens to him or what's going on around him, he has this phrase here in part 1 saying it's in God's plan. This is part of God's plan. It's going to be okay. We're going to follow the path. We're going to keep on going. Now, during this situation, right after this, there's this huge explosion coming out of the subway. And it's an explosion of radioactivity to the point of giving Matt his abilities back. He has his radar sensors. He has his agility. He's able to avoid certain things. So now with his abilities, he's going to investigate the origin of this explosion. Now, each person or civilian that he sees laid out, knocked out, or injured, he's basically saving them one by one by one by one. And he goes on to investigate inside the sewer, and he hears this distinct heartbeat, only to find out that it is Steve Rogers. You know it, Captain America. Now, this is Old Man Cap. Now, Old Man Cap still has his super soldier serum inside, running through his veins. Now, you see these rods like penetrating his ribs, his abdomen, his chest, but he's holding up this debris over this civilian, trying to save her life. He said, Matt, listen, get her out of here. So Matt gets the civilian out of there, and he goes back to save Cap from certain death, but he is too late. He literally hears his heart phase away as the debris lands on top of him. Now, this is really the second shock and all from the first part of this comic. First, you get Wilson Fisk. Now you visually see Captain America meeting his end. Now, this is right after Matt gets his abilities back. So even with his abilities, he's still unable to save his friends. Now you go to the henchman that actually caused the explosion. Now it goes on to say, hey, job went well, got away pretty clean. And this old, decrepit, wrinkly figure says, pretty clean, just another way of saying dirty. But yeah, I heard about it on the news, radio, and big boom, that's good. Now we wait and see. Now the henchman actually gives this figure a gift. He says, listen, I got something else for you. And he gives him Captain America's shield. And he goes on to say, I ain't seen this in years. If I could just stop twitching for half a second. And this figure stabs his own hand to stop his hand from twitching, on to say, I knew you was out there. I knew it. You came, you noticed, you wanted to, you know it. The Steve Rogers I know wouldn't let this go easy. He's coming for it. Only for the henchman to reassure him, Cap is dead. He's not coming back for this. And he was like, well, okay, we don't have this issue no more. But he also says, but there was this other guy jumping around like crazy, older, redhead, lanky, dressed up almost a priest. He looked like a priest. For that, he said, well, that is very interesting. This means a lot to me. This is a gift. In fact, I say that everything is on target. So this old, wrinkly, decrepit figure is Bullseye. That is who this is. This is Bullseye. So not only the heroes have aged, the villains have aged just as bad, if not worse. Matt looks way better than Bullseye now, but good Lord, what exactly is going on? But you see that this panel that Matt went to his old trunk and he sees billy clubs and his red outfit, and he's dons the outfit one more time. But that is not the complete shocking thing about this part one. Now, Bullseye says, remember this? Of course you do. You worship the guy. He was everything you weren't and ain't. Bet it burns you up that I've got it. You want to hold it? You want to hold it, Frank? This man got Frank with no arms and no legs and can't speak, tortured against the wall.
Why?
Like, what exactly is going on? We talking Frank Castle. We talking about the Punisher, the man that punishes drug lords and dispatches criminals with extreme prejudice. How did he get himself caught up like this? Like, I hate to see Frank like this. It's very rare to see Frank in this level of vulnerability. But Bullseye goes on to say, maybe you thought he'd get you down off that wall someday. Ain't happening. He's dead. Captain America's dead. But my guys, they tell me there's another fella in the mix out there. Skinny, old, ginger, jumping, flipping, trying to save people. Ain't that interesting, Frankie? You missed the old days, Castle, because I do. And the next panel, the very last panel, is Matt Murdock down in the red outfit and the Billy Club flying across the city. Now, what will happen in these next 2 issues of Cold Day in Hell? Are there any other heroes out there that can help Matt Murdock? Will Frank Castle be saved? And what is he able to do once you save him? Is there any prosthetics this man could use, or is Frank Castle going to meet his end? Is he going to have like a heroic sacrifice? Will Daredevil survive this whole ordeal from part 1 to 3? Will he survive at all? We got to see what happens. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Go ahead and support this comic, Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. Yeah, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you get notified on all of our content, whether it's live or recorded. See you guys next time. Peace.